Hey Darcy, how you doing? Girl, I know you saw this story. I know you did. I know you did. Hey Janice Boo, how y'all ladies doing this evening? We got some mess to talk about today, which I'm sure y'all probably already heard about. This video. I'm trying to find my plug for my cell phone. Make sure my cell phone don't go dead when we taking calls. But y'all make sure y'all jot down that phone number because we're gonna be taking calls tonight about this ish. I got the phone plugged in. I got the speaker plugged in and it's on the charger. You haven't heard about it? Another funeral home, Darcy? Do not say in Detroit. Don't do it. Don't do it. If they find one more funeral home in Detroit that has either dead babies or dead fetuses improperly buried or disposed of, we're going to have to call in the FB to the I. The FB to the I. But how's everybody doing today? It's Friday Eve. Hey. Oh, it's Friday Eve. And I have to work all weekend at the nursing home. But it's okay. I got to get them coins one way or another. Got to pay them bills. But anyway, you ladies, make sure, and everybody else who's watching, please make sure on your way in you like the video. Please make sure you share the video. And please also make sure that you are subscribed if you're not already a subscriber. Please and thank you very kindly. Now, I don't know how many of you have heard about this story of this 16-year-old girl. The video went viral really, really fast. She was just on Dr. Phil the other day, her and her mother. And the reason why her mother brought her to Dr. Phil was that basically her daughter is black. She's really black. She's not mixed. She's probably has some small percentage of white like we all do. We all mix in some way or another, but physically, she's black, African American, and she refuses to accept the fact that she's black, African American. So we're going to talk about this tonight because a lot of people is like, this girl is in a sunken place. A lot of people is like, this can't be for real. A lot of people is blaming it on her mother because she has been like basically racist against her own race since she was like 5 years old. But I'm going to play this video now. Now, the video is about 4 minutes. So make sure you watch the entire video. It's 2 videos, but I'm going to show you one. And then we'll watch the other one a little later after we, discuss the first video. But you guys, y'all might want to buy something to get something to sip on for this. Whatever your preference is, tea, wine, coffee, liqueur. This is a hot mess. Let me get this video going, y'all. Okay. Here we go. Okay, y'all ready? Ready? Let me blow the video up so y'all can see it better.
I know a lot of people take issue with my beliefs. I'm white. I'm a Caucasian because everything about me is different from an African American. I have naturally straight hair. My hair isn't nappy. It doesn't require
okay, hold on,
my nose is not giant like African Americans. My lips are
as a
perfect.
life
They're not
coach,
too big and they're not too small.
Okay, hold on. I got two videos
My
playing at the
ears, I
same
don't have
time.
black people ears because they're
Let me
really
pause this
giant.
one.
Most African Americans
What
speak
are you
ghetto.
hearing, and what do you have to say to this young woman?
Well, you know, I think if you get caught up in the
I don't
very
know how I
extreme
clicked
things
on
that
both
she's
videos.
talking about, then you miss the tragedy of her story, Dr. Phil. And the tragedy is, unfortunately, Mom.
Okay, let me make sure they both aren't going to play at the same
And I actually heard
time.
you say, well, what I told her about who she was, and then told her the truth later on, well, nobody was going to
This
get
one down
hurt.
here.
Unfortunately, somebody did, the most
one is
important
playing?
person, and that was your daughter. You lied to her about who she was, and then when you told
Okay, all right. So this is the one we want right here. Okay, y'all. So check out this video. I'm going to start it over as soon as I get everything out the way. Okay,
I
here
know
we
a lot
go.
of people take issue with my beliefs. I'm white. I'm a Caucasian because everything about me is different from an African American. I have naturally straight hair. My hair isn't nappy. It doesn't require weave. My nose is not giant as like African Americans. My lips are perfect. They're not too big and they're not too small. Like, they're just perfect. My ears, I don't have black people ears because they're really giant. Most African Americans speak ghetto. But when it comes to black people, I think they're all ugly and I have nothing in common with them. I'm different from African Americans because I'm white. My figure is just like Kim Kardashian, and she's a wonderful role model. I act and I think like a white person instead of a black person. I believe that I'm completely and utterly better than them. Like, we're on two different levels. Like, okay, African Americans are here, I'm here. White people act and think just way more mature than African Americans. Black people, they think in a criminal way. When I think about African Americans, I feel like asking them, what is wrong with them? They're really dangerous. If an African American is on the same street as I am, I'll cross the street to avoid their chaotic, thuggish ways.
Are you okay?
I'm irritated.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I just know that I'm white. I mean, she might not know that I'm white, but I know that I'm white. I can feel it through my veins. I feel it through my blood. I tell my mom I'll never be like any of those Negroes. My mom tries to criticize me about my supposed race. I tell her she's just ignorant. There's nothing wrong with my views or beliefs because I have freedom of speech and everything I'm saying is true.
Okay, Treasure, how are you this morning?
Pretty great. How are you?
I'm all right.
That's great.
Now, you've been listening to everything we've talked about so far,
Yes,
right?
I have.
And is there anything that your mom has said or told me about that's inaccurate, incomplete, or that you want to add something to?
Well, I mean, actually, yeah. You guys called me delusional earlier, and I feel like the only people
I did
who...
not call you delusional. I asked your mother if she thought you were delusional.
Yes, well, you asked her that question. I would like to clarify the fact that I am nowhere near delusional. I'm actually very capable and a very intelligent person, so...
Being delusional and being intelligent are not mutually exclusive.
Well, I feel like if you're being delusional, then you got to be some type of retarded, and I'm not that.
Well, I have two things to say about that. Number one, that's absolutely just simply not the fact. And number two, using that word is very derogatory. So I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't use that word.
Yeah, well, okay, well, I'll understand, only because I'm a very respectful person, and if you wish that I don't use that word, then I most definitely won't use it.
Okay, appreciate that.
Okay, no problem.
When you say that you believe yourself to be Caucasian, tell me why you believe that to be true.
Well, I know I'm a Caucasian because when I wake up in the morning, I just have such a great life. And that my hair is so perfect, my skin isn't ugly, and I'm not fat also, which is also a really African American thing. So, like, I'm just nowhere near like them. And plus, they're so thug and criminal that I can't relate.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, that's just
He don't even know
so
what to say.
riddled with ignorance. I don't even know how to respond.
Okay.
And I'm not saying it to be insulting. Ignorance doesn't mean lack of intelligence. It means lack of information.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're confusing the concept of race and ethnicity, because race is really biologically determined.
I know I'm biologically white. I feel it through my veins and through my blood. I don't just think I'm white. I know that I'm white.
And
there's no doubt in my mind.
You said,
Even though I have told you that your father was not your father and that you are actually African American?
You might be lying. I don't trust anything that anyone else says. I know that I'm white.
Ethnicity, on the other
Her
hand,
teeth, though.
has to do with whether or not you identify with a particular group in terms of their culture and practices, beliefs, religions, things that go along with that particular group, and that has nothing to do with race. Sometimes they can overlap, but not always.
Well, I feel like you're wrong. You're completely wrong. I know who I am, and I know my race, and I'm a proud white person. And there's nothing, I feel it through my veins, like it's literally in my blood. There's no way. I don't believe that I'm white. It's not my ethnicity.
Treasure, do you
It's my race.
Wow, 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 wow. Did y'all see Dr. Phil? He was like, I never seen Dr. Phil at a loss for words. He was like, man, y'all, this is a bunch. Okay. Why is it happening more and more and more that certain people feel like they're totally a different race? I even heard somebody say, oh, it's no different than men thinking that they're really women, or that they were born women, or women thinking they were really men, you know, born in a different body. Is this the same thing, y'all? And then some people were saying that this girl got to be full of it. This got to be like a con and act. I don't know. What y'all think about that video? I don't know if y'all watched the whole Dr. Phil show, but let me read some of these comments. Lord Jesus. Ooh, the comments. Ooh, they going. Okay, let me see where we at. Okay. Let me see. Okay, let's start with Quiggut Indian. Black women have all been taught to hate ourselves. This is why we go at our sisters so quickly. Black women will allow men to get away with murder and blame some black women for what the men did. Darcy, oh my God. That is what I was saying, Darcy. Like, oh my God. And because she is dark, she has repeatedly been called ugly. It's all of our faults. Her mama's light skin, colorism. Janice, you like child, please. A lot of white people in the audience agreed. We have to start teaching our children that they are African slaves. He was speechless. I don't get it. I was at a loss for words too. I'm gonna open up the phone line so y'all can call in. After we, first of all, we gonna see the response. She gave a response when that lady asked her that question. She gave her a response. Hey, Sonji, did you just see that video I played? I'm gonna play the response to this video. This next video is a little shorter. It's only 3 minutes. After that, I promise I'll open up the phone lines and we can get to talking about this child.
I want to introduce you to someone,
okay.
Spirit, a life coach and therapist from Atlanta.
Let me get this rewound because I was appalled. But okay, we about to watch the second video. It's 3 minutes. So y'all take all this in. Okay, come on, Dr. Phil.
I want to introduce you to someone, Spirit.
Okay, hold on.
A life coach and therapist from Atlanta. As a life coach and as a very accomplished and successful African-American woman, what are you hearing and what do you have to say to this young woman?
Well, I think if you get caught up in the very extreme things that she's talking about, then you miss the tragedy of her story, Dr. Phil. And the tragedy is, unfortunately, Mom, you didn't intend to. And I actually heard you say, well, what I told her about who she was, and then told her the truth later on, well, nobody was going to get hurt. Unfortunately, somebody did, the most important person, and that was your daughter. You lied to her about who she was, and then when you told her that she was something else, it caused a complete identity crisis. So we have issues around culture, we have issues around class, we have issues around racial identity, and we have issues around self-esteem. It's not that she hates black people, it's that she hates herself and she wants her own life back. She wants her life back.
Well, I couldn't agree more, which is why I ask you, what is it that you're so upset with yourself about? Why are you so angry?
I don't take hood rat serious at all. So I'm not going to even pay her any mind. If I've been white since the day I've been born, then I'm still white now, and I will be white every day I wake up. Most definitely. There's nothing out here that can change my opinion, not some hood rat telling me you don't know what you're talking about, or not you, Dr. Phil. No.
Do you think that it is becoming to you to refer to this very fine, well-educated woman that flew halfway across the country to reach out to you, to refer to her as a hood rat? Do you think that's becoming to you?
Well, I don't know why she would.
Do you think that's flattering to you to do that? Do you think that
I'm just telling the truth.
You?
I'm not lying.
Well, I didn't want to ask you.
I feel like it's becoming of me to tell the truth. So, yes.
I think at this point it's really important for us to deal with facts. And so, Treasure, I think exposure is important. And so I would absolutely invite you to come and shadow me in Atlanta so that you could actually meet and understand what amazing black women look like, so that you can learn your black girl magic too.
No, I don't believe in going in a room full of I would never do something like that.
Unfortunately, see, the interesting thing about this, though, Dr. Phil, is that when you are comfortable in your position, when you know who you are, when you are educated and you are fact-based, you can walk into any room with confidence. You can talk to anyone. You don't have to do anything except for simply be. But when you feel the need to bring people down, when you feel the need to use words to hurt people, we know all the time that hurt people hurt people. And so I look at you, and all I want to do is just help you heal your brokenness. It's so unfortunate.
What are you so afraid of?
Seeing a black person is like going to the zoo. You only want to go there a few times, but if you go there all the time, you know everything that goes on.
That's like a tired record. You only have about 6 things you say, and after you say them, it's just.
He ain't lying. He ain't never lied. That's all she kept saying over and over again. Like, again, I don't know if y'all watched the entire show, but it was a hot mess. I was like, what kind of sunken place is she in? She is at the bottom floor of the sunken place. Underneath the bottom floor, so deep. Like, okay, the phone lines is open. If y'all want to call in, the phone number is 641-715-0872. Access code 434-478. Right there to the right of the screen at the bottom is the phone number I have posted for you. Excuse me. So you don't have to write it down. Just call in. And when you call in, make sure that you turn down whatever that you're listening to me on, whether it's your computer or whatever. So it won't be any extra noises. But let me read some of these comments. Okay. She is mentally and emotionally damaged. I agree, Quick. I agree. She really needs help, DC. Yep. 16 and ignorant. Yep. And a lot of people is blaming it on her mother because they're like, you know what? Her mother told her when she was younger, that her husband at the time who was white, before he passed away, she told the children, you saw the boy up there with the like the flat top twisties. She had told both of them that their father was her white husband. And she figured, and that's the thing, she never really said why she told them that. They used to stay in an affluent, neighborhood community that was mostly white. They went to schools that were mostly, white kids there. And yeah, she learned that her mother told her like recently that they really are not white. Because all along they were under the impression, her and her brother was under the impression that they were mixed. And that the girl, okay, now the boy, he was lighter. He's probably like my complexion, maybe a little lighter. Now, in his skin complexion, he could possibly be mixed. Just by complexion. I mean, he could pass. If he told us he was mixed, I wouldn't doubt him. Oh, really? You must take after your mother's darker skin than your father's whiter skin. People were like, girl, use black. And then they were like, she was saying how her hair is straight like white people. Her hair didn't look straight and natural to me. And then like all her features, she has like no white features at all. And then, like, she was talking about how her body is shaped like Kim Kardashian, and Kim Kardashian is her role model. That's somebody she looks up to. I'm not even going to get on that subject. I'm not even going to get on that. And calling out, like, how she called that lady that Dr. Phil flew all the way out there to help her. She called her, what did she call her? Ghetto hood rat? Hello? Hold on, babe. Let me put you on speaker. I don't be having the speaker turned on because that elevator music be loud. So hold on. Okay, who we got on the line today?
This is Darcy.
Hey, Darcy, how you doing?
I'm good. This story is crazy.
Yes, it is.
I feel so bad for her because the mother lied until after the stepfather died.
And she thought nobody would be hurt by it.
I mean, I've seen this before, but I mean, I've never seen it this bad. When I used to live in New Haven, there was a darker-skinned black girl that lived next to me, and she literally was using Clorox to bleach her skin because her family said she was ugly because she was the darkest one of the family.
Wow.
And she ended up with chemical burns on her face, on her arms. I mean, they need to really get, they really need to get this young girl help.
For real. She is, do you think she's
before they have no control over whether she can get help or not.
Right, because I'm looking at it
they've only got 2 more years.
Right, till she's 18.
Right.
But I was thinking, dang, is she too far gone? Or there were even people saying this can't be real. Is this for real? Like, is she serious? Some people was like, nah, she pulling people's leg. But her mom said she been acting like that since she was 5 years old.
Right. Well, remember that the woman that was all over the news that she was saying she was black, but she was actually white.
I remember her, and she still, to this day, feels like she identifies.
To this day is saying she's black.
Right. I can see identifying as black. I can even see if the girl said, you know, her name is Treasure. I can see if Treasure said she identified as white, because I mean, I went to school with a girl here in Omaha. She was black. She was matter of fact, she was probably the same complexion as Treasure, and her hair was kinky. She didn't perm it, she didn't straighten it. She just kind of just did whatever with it. And she talked really, really, really proper. And I won't say white, because some people, you know, get offended when you say white, because white and black people can talk, you know, the same. But she talks really, really proper, right? Really intelligent, really, you know, proper, like, and everything. And she hung around only white people. She dated a white person. She had a baby by a white man. And you could just tell without even her saying that she identified with white. She listened to white music. She really didn't hang around black people at all. Now, I can understand that if you identify as white, but just to say I'm white or I'm black and you're not.
I mean, the thing of it is I grew up in the neighborhood. I'm 52. And I grew up in a neighborhood that had all races.
Yep, same here. Yep.
On my street. And I'm not being funny, but I tend to get along better with black people than I do white. And I guess I can say it. I act white, as you know, people claim how white people act.
Right.
I mean, I don't try to change who I am because of who I'm around.
I got that.
Because my mindset is not, well, they're not, if they don't like me for who I am, then screw them, you know.
I get that, because I hung around during high school. I always bring it back to high school, because that's like your biggest community during your, you know, when you're growing up.
I went to a majority black high school because I lived in New Haven, and I went from a Catholic middle school to an all-black high school. I had more problems in my Catholic school than I ever did the 4 years in the all-black high school.
That's funny you say that, because I went to a not Catholic. It wasn't considered Catholic. It was considered Christian, or like non-denominational. It was called Sword of the Spirit, and they still around to this day. And I went there for junior high school for 7th and 8th grade. And we had like mega problems. I was always in trouble, getting suspended, in-house suspension, everything. And then I went to high school, and we had a very mixed high school. It was like we had Chinese, we had Asian, we had white, we had Puerto Rican, we had African. I mean, everything you name it. It was like a melting pot. The high school that I went to.
My freshman year, there were only 3 whites in the school, and we all came from the same middle school. And we had no problems whatsoever.
Oh, you know what? DC
because
12.
we didn't try to be something we're not.
Right. Like when I hung around white people, I didn't change how I act. I was raised in the hood. So when I hung around white people, sometimes I would crack them up, because I was like, I'm from the hood. I talk a certain way. I act like this. You know, and I'm outspoken. So, but still, the same way I acted with my white friends when I hung out with them was the same exact way I acted with my black friends or my Indian friends, because we had Indians on our block growing up, and they were like the coolest people. So I never like switched up. It was just always me, just me. I'm the same person all the time.
But see, I I could not understand why lighter-skinned black people always seem to, this was in my high school, always seem to attack the darker skin.
Mm-hmm. That's something that's been going on for a long time.
The darker-skinned Hispanic.
You know, I don't know because...
that kind of, so I'm wondering if that also was happening to her.
I don't know. A lot of people said that she was attacked because, you know, when she was going to the white school, you know, people, you know, called her ugly and stuff like that. But
But since she was doing it since she was 5, that had to start at home.
Right, and that's what people are saying. It's her mom's fault. Like, for one, it's her mom. Like, how do you lie to your kids and tell them their father is white? I mean, how, or right. if they were white kids, how could you tell them?
Where was her biological father all this time?
Honey,
is my question.
Honey, I don't know. I don't know where her biological father was. They really only talked about the one that she married. And I'm thinking, was she ashamed of the bio dad? You know, was he a bad person? Was he in prison? Was he on drugs? Was he abusive? I mean, I don't know.
Could he have been dead? I mean,
I don't know.
If you look at the mom and if you look at the brother, they're probably a shade lighter than she is.
Right.
So that also too might play a part in why she's rebelling.
Well, you know what? Her brother...
She might think in her mind that he's the brother is the white guy's son.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know what her brother doesn't act like that at all. He said he don't know why his sister is acting like that. He was like, Mom told us both this, but once she told us the truth that her white husband who passed away was not our real dad, he said, I was just like, okay, I'm not white. On the other hand, the daughter, like the way she's acting, he's like, I don't understand why she keeps dragging our family down. Why she just won't get over it and just accept the fact that she's not white. I mean, the brother who looks and appears to be younger than her, he got more sense than she does. He's like, okay, I'm not white, I'm black. Oh, well.
I mean, she turned around and she called a professional a hoodrat.
Right. And talking about, I don't want to go.
I mean, that's probably just the most shocking. I mean, everything that she was saying was shocking, but that was probably most shocking to me.
And how she said it, like so calm, and I don't want to hang around hood rats, and I don't want to go anywhere where there's a whole bunch of black people hanging around. She was calling them gorillas. She was calling them monkeys. This girl.
And made a reference to the zoo.
The zoo. Like, once you go to the zoo so many times, you done seen everything you want to see. I was like gagging, like, no, you didn't.
I mean, seriously, I mean, I don't know how the KKK or white supremacist groups act, but that's what this is.
Man, if the KKK was to run across her, they would let her have it. The KKK, the Klans would let her have it. I don't know, like I said, I don't know how many of y'all watched the entire show, but her mom, like, was asking her, do you have the KKK? Well, her mom had asked her, do you, because she said, I called a Klan 800 number almost every day to get updates. And her mom was like, you what? And she took her phone out. She took her phone out and hit a speed dial number, and it said something Klan nigger. I mean, it said like all kind of stuff on there, and I was like, no, she do not be calling the Klan's number. Like, are you for real, sis? I don't even know if I call her sis. I don't know.
I mean, this is more than mental illness.
Right, and Sonji is saying in the comments that the name calling altogether was taught.
This is hate.
I believe that. And like somebody said in the comments, the name calling altogether was taught. Like when she told them at a young age that your father is white, like how her mom said at a young age, around 5, that's when she started ripping off the heads. She would buy her black dolls and she would start ripping off the heads and she would pull all the strands of their hair out and she would hit them and, you know, do all kind of things to destroy them. And she would keep her white dolls perfect. Like, and what were you doing, Mom, at that time? Like, what were you doing?
I mean, a lot of parents, when things like that happen, really don't know how to handle it because they don't really know what's going on.
That was around the time where she should have said, "Hunty, I'm sorry, Mommy." I mean, at 5.
I'm also wondering if maybe she was sexually abused.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not saying by her biological father, but because the hate.
Right, and it's like, how did she get to this?
An underlying problem that she has so much hatred for black people.
It has to be, because even if this girl really believes she's white, she acts like a white supremacist. Like, even if you were mixed, I have mixed people in my family. Everybody knows somebody mixed, whether it's in their family or at work or whatever. They not going around, I hate black people. I hate when they're half black. I mean, how did she get to that point? And that's why a lot of people blame her mother. Like, when she was 5 years old and when she started calling black, where did she learn this at such a young age to hate a race? That's what everybody was kept asking the mom. Like, I don't get it.
Is anybody really going to get the truth out of the mom? No.
The mom, she was sitting up there like, I know I told her.
If the mom was turning around calling her ugly and things like that, or other family members were calling her ugly and other things, is the mom really going to say that? I highly doubt it.
I don't know, but this all goes back to a lot of black people also believing that white people are superior, and how she was saying that black people are all
about Kim K.
Right. Like, Kim K is your real role model. Kim Kardashian.
If you watch Kim K, what's Kim K doing? Kim K is turning her skin to try to be darker than what she is.
Right, but that's her role model. That's Treasure, this 16-year-old, that's her role model. You trying to be white like Kim, and she's turning her skin color dark. Like, I mean, not turning it dark, but you know what I'm saying. A lot of white people try to make their skin a lot darker than it is, whether it's by tanning or by creams or by, you know what I mean.
Tanning is one thing.
Right, you're right.
Kim K is going way above and beyond that.
Right.
So where her skin is actually starting to look yellow.
And you can tell the difference, like, if you even go back, like, before Kanye, you know, what was the basketball player's name that she was with? Just in that time frame, you can tell, like, her, like, did something happen to your pigmentation? Like, I mean, but you can definitely tell. You can definitely tell.
And I saw a tweet of hers, but she deleted it, where she said she wanted to make her skin tone the tone of her children.
Because they're mixed. It doesn't make sense to me. Just I don't understand why people just can't be happy with who they are. But in this case, if this really started as early as it did and got to this level, she should have been getting therapy. She should have been getting counseling. Her mom should have told her the doggone truth at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You are not white.
Right.
Instead of letting her go these years till she's 16. I mean, she's almost grown.
I understand that a white stepfather came into the picture. I mean, I don't know how long he was in the picture, but I understand And I understand that he took on the father role. But that doesn't mean that you have to turn around and lie and say, that's your father.
Right, I don't get it.
There's no reason for that unless there's something heinous about the biological father that she didn't want the daughter to find out about.
Right, and also I'm wondering, like the lady, I don't think they asked her, she mentioned it, but she's kind of fair complexion. I wonder if she actually tried to say she was white maybe down the road. You know what I'm saying?
I was wondering that also.
Yeah, because she's fairly light. And for her to be with a white man, I mean, I don't know. Maybe
because
she had issues too.
I'm wondering if the brother has a different father than the daughter.
I don't know, because they said, the brother said, Mom told us both. And she said, I told my children at the young age that was their father. So he must have been in their life from a very, very young age for them to just believe all these years that, like, my stepdad came into my life around 4. I haven't called him stepdad unless I'm trying to basically tell somebody, my real dad, my stepdad. But, naturally, I call him dad. So, but still, that's different to say, he's been in my life since I was 4. That's dad. I know that's not my real dad, no matter what color he is.
So, when I was married, my ex had 3 children. And they called me mom, but they knew, even though their mom was not in their life, they knew the difference between mom and stepmom.
Uh-huh.
And I made sure that I'm the one that made sure that they knew, even though the mom wasn't in their life up until they got older.
Mm-hmm. See, this, I just can't believe this. Like I said,
So I blame the mom. I blame the mom for everything.
I do too. And some
people I also blame the stepdad. I'm sorry that he's deceased, but I also blame him too, because we could have stopped that.
And I wonder how long, I don't recall them saying what age they were when he passed, but I wonder how long he was in their life, or what amount of time he was in their life for him to go along with it. Like, exactly. I don't understand either one of them, and I'm glad you brought up the stepdad, because everybody is like the mom. So I'm glad you brought up the stepdad, because in a way it's his fault too. Right. If he let it go on, like, there's no way I would let a child.
I don't think the young lady would still, I don't think the young lady and her brother would still know.
If he wouldn't have died. And that's what she was saying. She said, well, I thought once, my ex-husband, their stepdad, died, and I told them the truth, it wouldn't hurt anybody because he's dead. And they were like, how you figure that wouldn't hurt nobody? If you let these kids all these years think that they were half white. But again, like the black girl, a lot of people are saying she's dragging it out. Oh, she's just trying to be famous. She's just trying to get into the media. She's just trying to get, some fame. She's just trying. I don't know. I think she's really confused.
That might be a little bit of it, but I think she's mentally destroyed over it.
And her mom said that she told her daughter Treasure.
You're dropping 2 bombs on a child. One, that you're not the color you thought you were. You're not mixed.
Right.
And 2, the father you knew as your father is not your father. So basically, you've dropped 2 huge bombshells on children.
It's really devastating, and it's crazy because.
And I don't believe for 1 second that it doesn't bother the brother.
Oh, he was saying, he said she's dragging our family down. He was like, I wish she would just, you know.
But I believe that him being told that that wasn't his father hurt him.
And it might have, but I think
But boys usually don't project their feelings a lot.
Mm-hmm. Right. I agree.
But
I agree. I have 2 sons. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree.
I don't have children of my own, but it doesn't take having children to know that telling a child those 2 big things.
Those are big lies. Big lies. Not small lies,
right.
Not white. Them are big lies that she told her children.
And the thing of it is, think about it. You've got two families, 2 different families. You've got her family and you've got the stepdaughter's family. And not one person
said anything.
Not one person opened their mouth.
Well, you know what? You never know, because being that they stayed in a predominantly white neighborhood, went to predominantly white schools, who knows? They probably was not really around, their regular the other side of the family as much. And I can picture it as this: if they were like Barbecue's birthday, like how I called my dad after he was in my life, for so long, for them to go around their other family, dad got me this, dad got me. The other family members probably weren't looking at it like, these kids really think he's their bio father. They were probably looking at it like, that's like what most families do. When you marry into a family and you've been together for years, you don't stay step. So they probably had no idea that she had them thinking that was their bio dad, I don't know.
That's so big, but there's just so much. Because think about it. They would have to know if she went around them, because she would have to tell them what she told the kids, because in order to keep them from slipping up and saying something about their real biological father. That's the only reason why I think that both sides of the family knew. Because otherwise, it would have come out a long time ago.
Right.
Because somebody would have slipped up about the biological father.
Right. And it's like I said, I don't know.
Slipped up if they didn't know.
And that's the thing. I don't know how long he's been in their life. I don't know how long it's been since the other guy's been in life. Because the thing is, it's so weird to me, because it's like, okay, if her daughter started showing out around 5, I'm sure the white husband didn't appear till, of course, after they were born. So what did you say? Oh, this white guy, he's your father, but he's been out of town all these years. What would you say? Like, what? I wonder, what did she come up with to make an excuse for why he wasn't here from day one when you were born? And that's why I'm with the people who say it's the mom's fault. It's totally her fault. This girl needs help. She needs help. She's going to get out there and she's going to be around the wrong person who's really white. And they gonna tell her how it really is. Like, she about to get out there in the real world.
Think about when she goes to the job market.
That's what I was about to get at too. When she goes to get hired. And when she tell them I'm white. Like, what box you gonna pick? White, black, mix?
She's gonna have a rougher. I think she's gonna have a rougher time, if she goes to college. And she's going to definitely have a rougher time when she gets out in the real world, not her delusional world.
Yeah, they better get this checked real soon, because you know what's going to happen. She's going to end up having children. If she's not dating a white guy or somebody of a different race where the kids will come out mixed, and she ends up dating a black guy, which
Your input is invalid. To join to the subconference, press number of subconference from 1 to 9.
Okay, hold on.
Star, you have joined.
Okay, but when she does have
to join
children,
to the subconference, press number of subconference from 1 to 9.
1. Oh, she must have got hung up on. Okay, Darcy. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But anybody else? I don't know what happened. I did not hang up on her. I don't know what happened. But if anybody else has anything to say or want to call in, please feel free to call in. I'm just reading the comments in the chat. But you guys, how do you feel about that, as far as some people saying she can't really be this way, this all has to be like a hoax, or she's dragging it out, or she just wants some publicity. I think it's really her acting out like that. Oh, you got cut off? I don't know why you got cut off, Darcy. I really don't. But you can call back. If you want, you can call back. Nobody else is on the line. So it's not like somebody was waiting on the line. Everybody was just listening to us talk. But yeah, as far as, let me read some of these comments. Let's see here. I like what whose comment was that I saw? Oh, Janice. You said you wonder, does she choose? That's what I was just saying before I even saw your comment. That's what I was saying. Like, what do you choose? Because she's just 16. So I'm assuming that she has not had a job yet. I'm just going to assume that she probably hasn't had a real job yet, since she's still, just 16. So I don't know if she would go and choose, like, when she has to get her ID or her state ID so that she can cash her paychecks. Like, oh, you waiting on the line? Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Let me see how I get you on here. It should just beep you in. Let's see. I don't know why it don't have nobody on the line. Quick. You want to hang up and try it again, Quick? Cuz I don't know why it's not coming through. Yeah, I don't know why it's coming through. Yeah, I don't show anybody on the line though. I mean, I show let's see. Are you 5484, Quig? Yeah. You know what? Quig, hang up. I'm gonna hang up too, Quig. Hang up for me, and I'm gonna dial in. I'm gonna start it over, okay? So hang up for me, Quig. I'm gonna tell you to oh, you had a knock at the door and your dog started barking. Hold on, I'm gonna dial in to the conference number again. because I don't know what happened.
Access code accepted. There is one other participant.
Okay, I think you on the line, quick. Let me plug you up to the speaker. Hold on 1 second. Get this thing hooked up. Okay, you there? Okay, go ahead.
We called him Indian. I know it's hard to pronounce. I'm Choctaw Indian. It's a part of my tribe, but I'm black.
Oh, okay. And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because I did think, because of the Indian, I did think you were probably Indian. So my bad.
No, the real Indians are black.
Yeah.
You know, like our grandmothers, most of our grandmothers told us that, you know, that we were Indian. So, you know, I just did my family genealogy, and I reconnected to my original tribe.
Oh, wow. I've been thinking about doing that too.
I can help. And you can call me QI. You know, it's easier.
Okay, QI, that's what I'm going to start calling you, QI. Because I was like, I didn't want to be like disrespectful when I was saying quick, but I'm like, ooh, I don't know how to pronounce that, quick. Girl,
I have a whole nother channel. You know, I'm a long-time content provider. I do a lot of stuff on history and, you know, issues such as child molestation.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm a victim of that, as well as, you know, like what we're about to talk about now. See, we do ourselves an injustice by always blaming the mothers for a lot of the issues that are deeply psychologically rooted within us. Pretty much what they call generational curses. What it is that we have been taught as people, brainwashed, that, you know, white is right, light is right, and black is wrong. Even a black cat is a bad cat. You know, when anything that's white is good, anything that's black has always been associated with bad. Okay, as well. You know, like when you look at TV and the way that we've been portrayed in terms of, you know, like most television characters or parts, you know, most of the time, you know, the black people are, you know, the pimps, the prostitutes, the slaves, or, you know, something, you know, negative. You know, every now and then we make it, you know, like a black person that, you know, is something, you know, like worth honoring. Like, you know, that's why people look at Bill Cosby as their father.
Right.
You know, and, you know, Bill Cosby, that whole Cosby Show inspired so many people. Yeah. So this is not just the mother's fault. And colorism is something that we all face, and we face it in our families every day but we're not having the conversation.
You're right.
You know, like, you know, lighter skin, you know, people get better treatment in terms of even being accepted, you know, like, by jobs or getting certain movie roles or getting, you know, music contracts and things of that nature. Whereas, you know, darker people, a lot of times, you know, they don't, or if they do, it's under a whole different set of terms, and they are expecting a darker person to, you know, change something in order to, you know, like, in order to, you know, make it. Just like, for instance, who was it? I think it was the Afro-Latino, the black, dark Afro-Latino. You know, she wears a natural, and they were trying to make her change her hair. Just like, you know, they
you talking about La Negra?
Right.
What's her first name? I can't think of the first name, but I know
I think it's Amira.
Something like that, Amira La Negra or something. And I love her. I think she's so beautiful.
And see, a lot of that goes back to our history as well. Like, you know, like they taught us that we were all African slaves, and we're not all African. You know, the majority of us, the Mayans, the Aztecs, and the Incas, which were from Mexico, South Central America, they were dark people. You know, we were here before, you know, Columbus. But, you know, I'm not going to really go all into that. But, I mean, a lot of the stuff that we've been taught have been lies, like Columbus discovered America, like Santa Claus and Easter Bunny are real. A lot of the things that, you know, we have been taught are wrong, and it's a part of, how can I say it? Well, let me just go ahead and say it. It's a part of the white supremacist, and I'm not pro-black. You know, I am pro-black to the extent that I'm pro my people and pro-me, but I'm not pro-black in terms of what we look at nowadays as being pro-black. I don't hate any other race. Because, you know, for one thing, you know, like, I'm, you know, like in all of our families, we mix with, you know, a variety of different
And that's
things.
what I was saying earlier. We all mix with something.
Right. But let me just say this first. Like, in order for us to survive, we are going to have to learn that nobody else is going to help us work out our dark black issues. We're going to have to work these things out for ourselves. And one of the things that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to stop always blaming the mothers. When the father is not in the home, they blame the mother. When anything can happen. When if a child decides to go and cut down a tree, it's going to end up being the mom's fault. You know, like we have, you know, like first of all, and women get chastised or they get discriminated on. Black women get discriminated on the worst. White women do too, but black women are at the bottom because generally they say you got 3 strikes against you. You're black, you're black, and you're black, and you're 2 strikes. You're black and you're a woman. You know, so you know we got to keep that in context, and we got to, you know, realize that, you know, this is not just that mother's fault. You know, that mother probably has self-worth and self-esteem issues as well, so we can't bash and blame her and think that that's going to help the situation and we're going to heal and get better. What we have to start doing is we have to start tackling these issues from the root. Like, we have to start, like, going, you know, standing up. First of all, we all need to be voting, and hopefully we all vote democratically. Democratically or, you know, liberal, as long as you don't vote for the white nationalist party. But, you know, like, we need to start being more politically active. And, you know, like, we know that they're not going to, we have plenty of grants and stuff like that out here for different programs and stuff like that. And, you know, instead of us waiting on other people to, you know, initiate programs and stuff like that, we need to initiate more programs and stuff for our youth, because all of our youth are suffering from some type of, and all of us are suffering from some form or fashion of self-hatred, whether it be the black on black, as they say, killings, whether it be, you know, just like what's going on in Chicago, you know, whether, you know, like with the, you know, the gangs and stuff like that. You say, why is it that, you know, like another black person would want to take another black person's life? That's because it has something to do with our self-esteem and our self-worth. We're taught that we're slaves. We're descendants of slaves. And in so many words, it's like we're telling our children that, you know, like we were born to always be slaves, especially when they see us not being proactive like we were during the civil rights era and different eras, standing up and trying to bring about, you know, justice and change. You know, like a lot of times we'll have discussions amongst each other and we're always blaming each other instead of looking at the root of the problems and then trying to create organizations and social structures and different things like that to try to help fix the things that are going on within our own community. And it starts at home. You can't tell anybody anything, because a lot of us, you know, we're out here saying, oh, it's her fault, it's his fault, it's their fault. But, you know, we got issues going on in our own homes. A lot of us don't even know our second and third cousins. You know, a lot of us hadn't talked to, you know, cousin Auntie Anime in years. You know, yet we want to tell the next person what they need to do or how their children should be. You know, and you know, we've gotten away from those family traditions. You know, family traditions, family reunions. You know, we have to bring all of that kind of stuff back, because back when during the civil rights era and during one time, we're all that we had, and we're still all that we have. And and especially as women, you know, like before, like instead of us looking at it like we're going to dog the next sister or dog the next little girl, because, you know, women will roll their eyes, get mad, and fight with each other over another man. If a man is cheating with both women, the two women are fighting, not looking at what the man is doing. You know what I'm saying? This is the kind of stuff that, you know, that's been happening, and we got to stop that. And especially within, you know, with the sisters or the mothers of our community, because the mothers are our future. the mothers are the gateways to our future. Every child has to come through a mother. So if mothers are getting disrespected out here, being called the B word, being called the H or the W word, if you're seeing the mothers being pimped and prostituted and, you know, all types of things, what are we showing and teaching our children, especially our little girls? You know, we have to teach our little girls from a young age to have self-esteem and to have self-worth and to, you know, and what to look for in terms of looking for a good husband or, you know, or not even to the point where they even feel like they just have to have, because at some point, sometimes it's better not to have a husband or not to have somebody than to have a toxic relationship or to be toxic around your kids, because those kids are picking up on that toxicity and they're going to pass that on to their kids, and that's what starts our generational cycle and keeps this stuff going on. So, you know, like, we're going to have to go to the root to solve everything. Other than that, we're going to be dying and talking about each other until, you know, and this is exactly what they intended for us to do. So, you know, we're going to have to stop these cycles, because this dogging or blaming and all of that, that's forms of abuse as well. So, you know, we're going to have more compassion for each other and look at solutions instead of just blame.
You're right. You're right. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. And when you were saying, as far as the families, like, I'm actually, my mom had passed about 3 years ago. And before then, I had never, ever attended a family reunion. There would be like little reunions like down south where we from, like, you know, Memphis and Mississippi. There would be little reunions just for like people down there, but nobody really reached out up here to include all the people up north, all the people out west and east, you know, with those reunions. So me and one of my cousins had came up with the idea like 3 years ago that we were going to find all of our relatives. We have like so many relatives down south. It's ridiculous, because my grandma had, my great grandma, she had 16 kids, and two of them moved to Omaha, 2 sisters, and one of them moved to Chicago, and like the rest of them stayed down south. So that just tells you how many families I got down there.
Right. Everybody from Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana has family in Chicago. And so most of that gang killing and all of that kind of stuff, what they don't know is a lot of them are killing their own cousins.
You're right. That's your family. But girl, we took it into our own hand. We was like, you know what? We're not the older generation, but what we're going to do, we're going to do this. We got all the young people together and we threw a reunion. Now I stay in Omaha. We threw a reunion down in Memphis. We planned it all up here. I ain't never been to Memphis in my entire life. Didn't know one hotel, one street, knowing nothing. And we just found a hotel on Google, found a park, and we had a very nice turnout. And so ever since then, it's like everybody's starting to, every once a month, we have a family dinner. We meet at a different person's house every month on a Sunday, and that's how because we had grew apart like a lot of families do. You grow apart, you don't know your cousins, kids are dating their cousins, they in school fighting their cousins, they don't know, marrying their cousins, they don't know, and a lot of these people having babies, and the babies come out with, issues and stuff. Right, they have no idea they could be related. A lot of these issues, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I absolutely agree with you. You hit it right on the head when you was talking about family need to really get together like we used to do back in the day. So yeah,
these are the type of topics that we need to have. We need to have in the Black sector of YouTube or in the community. We need to have, and then we need to look at always finding a solution, and then getting with like-minded people, because everybody, you're not going to get along with everybody.
That's true.
And, some people's issues are deeper than others. But, getting with like-minded people, and we can start programs and bring economics back into our community, bring economics into your family. Like, the best people to start a business with is probably going to be, some people in your family, then you have something. Because one of the other things that we don't do is we don't leave our children anything.
Exactly.
Like when we go, it's like they still broke.
And you better hope they got insurance to bury them. So a lot of people, I mean, even in my situation with my mom, when she had passed, we had no idea that her insurance was inactive. We had no idea she had paid for insurance ever since I was a little kid, like in grade school. I remember her paying for insurance. The guy would come out, collect the money, all that, till she had got sick, and she had got really sick, and we had no idea that she was sick because she kept it away from us, and she wasn't paying her insurance because she wasn't all there at that time. And so we had no idea that her insurance wasn't being paid. And my dad, he would give her the money, but she was sick and she wasn't telling us that she was sick. So we found out right after she passed. My dad was like, what? He calling around. He asked to speak to the president of the insurance companies, and we've been paying for 30-something years. So it was like, they don't care. They don't care.
That's the same situation. And that's the same situation. I forgot what I was going to say right quick. Go keep talking.
Oh, no, I was just saying, get insurance.
Like, yes, it starts with, definitely with, we got to start working first within our families, and then, branch out to your extended family, and then your community. And then if we go, and this is what we were doing in the civil rights era. This is how we were able to bring about change. We just never finished doing what we were supposed to be doing.
Right. You're right. And that's why they say we've come a long way, but not long. We come a long way, but not as much as we should have, over the years.
Because we stopped. We started, and I can tell you because, I know a lot about American history. We started after the civil rights, because, a lot of people don't know that Martin Luther King, he said Negroes held captive in their own land. Okay, and the Civil Rights Act was for us as Indians, Black Indians. Okay, and so like a lot of people, and so a lot of the stuff that they've been doing to, psychologically to us and everything like that is to, make us take away our rights and our privileges to this land, in which they were successful, but not to the point where we can't regain our rights and stuff like that. But just to get back on track, we stopped, because at one time, like around the 60s, during segregation and things like that, we had our own laundromats in our community. We had our own stores in our community. We had our own everything. We had almost everything we needed within our community, and we worked together as families.
That's how I was here in Omaha, Nebraska too. And now, so many of those are long gone.
And we have to bring that. That's our only way of surviving. We have to bring that back. Just like a lot of people, they complain about the Mexicans, but the Mexicans are Americans. America is a big continent, and look at how the Mexicans have surpassed us. It's because
it seems like all races have, kinda. I mean, I can even go as far as in our city in Omaha. Even Africans, we have more African stores here, like real African, not African American, but African stores that are bypassing our African American establishments. It's like,
and when we do that, see, they got us fooled that we're like, there are some people who have African origins, true. Some Africans mixed in with our tribe, just like some of the Mongoloid Native Americans mixed in, which they're from Asia. They mixed in with our tribe. So we all have, some of those, the Africans came along with slavery. The Native Americans, they were here before Columbus, but they weren't here as long as we were. But it's like, everybody else works together. The Mexicans, they'll come over here. They'll live in Latinos. My fault. They'll come over here and I try to use general terms so everybody will understand what I'm saying, because that's another thing we have to learn, especially when you have a little education. We have to learn to speak to all of our people. You know, all of our people, you know, speak like the terms or the languages that all of our people can understand. But you know, Latinos, they come over here and it'll be 10 of them in one household. And they'll send money back. They'll take that $5 job. They'll work hard. They'll send a bulk of their money back to their country to build up their country, as well as they'll also, you know, build themselves up here. Next thing you know, they got grocery stores and they have construction companies.
And then they spread out, and that's when they put their own families in individual homes. Like they work together. We can't do that because nobody is on one accord. It's like there's so much strife because we're so jealous of each other, and so
we can't. We just gotta stop. We gotta start. We gotta start educating ourselves, like spiritually.
Right.
And I don't mean church or religion. I mean spiritually in terms of helping each other with self-worth. You know, there was a time when you had sisterhoods. You know, like you know what, women we just got the right to vote. During the women's suffrage movement, which they call the feminist movement. A lot of these men, they were trying to make it. I felt guilty for a long time because they were calling me feminist, and I was like, no, I'm not. And then I thought about it, and then I looked at Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou she said, I've been a woman all my life, and she said it's about time that I've been on my own side. Yes, I am a feminist. And all that is standing up for your rights, because if the woman has no rights, nor does the children. The children go unprotected, and that's the first thing that we need to realize. And, you know, and then, you know, like instead of being quick to be so critical with each other, we have to, like, you know, learn how to be more compassionate amongst each other, you know, like amongst each other, realizing that we all have issues. We all need to heal. We've all been through things.
And we all trying to win. We all trying to win. You know what? I hear that on YouTube all the time. You know, I don't know how much time you spend on YouTube, but even like our YouTube community, the Black YouTube community is a hot mess right now. I be watching different videos and following different people, and I'm like,
some of the bigger channels, they are paid. Just like Kanye West is paid. You know, a lot of people are paid to make us manipulate our thinking, to make us think a certain way. Just like when we start getting education, some, you know, like staying home and building up our house or building our family businesses where it wasn't good enough. We had to go out and we wanted to work for corporate America and, you know, and live in, just like we were talking about that mother there. You know, they want to go live in the suburbs and live like the Europeans instead of building up within their community. And that's what happened to us. Then you start thinking that, you know, the people your family members who didn't reach where you are at or didn't make it, they're not good enough, instead of helping them up as well, or helping them, you know, to a certain place as well.
I agree. It all starts, I mean, when it comes back to like our discussion tonight, it all starts at home. It all starts at home. If this particular mother and the stepdad, I just can't believe that even he went along with the idea of making these children believe that he is their bio dad. I don't
What do you expect from white people? It's like we gotta stop having expectations of other races or other people, especially when they already don't look at us as so. You know, they don't want to look at us as, because, you know, like they're no better than us. They just brainwash us to feel that way. But, you know, when, you know, especially when, you know, they want to put themselves on a pedestal, you know, what do you expect? Of course he was going to go along with that self-hating program.
It's crazy,
that self-hating program. And unfortunately, with her, bless her soul, because of the simple fact that she suffers from lack of self-worth and self-esteem.
You can
and that's what we have to look at. And so her mother probably had the same thing, or her family probably was suffering with the same thing. And that's how we have to look at it. It's a root thing. These are generational things. And so you just can't say, okay, yeah, you can help that one little black girl, but guess what? there are like a million other ones out there just like her. Some of them are prostituting, prostituting. So, they're doing all kinds of stuff. So self-hatred is not just her saying that she's, that she's white. It's an older black man, that sheriff somewhere in Michigan or something. He's the same way. He's a member of the Ku Klux Klan.
Wow.
There's a lot of self-hating black people out there that hate other black people because they hate themselves.
Wow. I mean,
and so we have to look at how do we reverse the emotional and psychological damage that has been done to us.
I did not know that black people could become a part of the Ku Klux Klan. Where have I been? Like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they accept them as like one of them? Like...
Oh yeah, there are a bunch of these so-called black religions. They might be out there. Like, let me tell you, Farrakhan. The black man is the devil. But he's a part of the Scientology church, which believes in eugenics. He's also, and his son married to a white woman. He's not that black himself. Farad Muhammad, who started it, wasn't black. A lot of the stuff that we think is black was started by white people to misdirect us. And so we gotta, that's another thing. We gotta start,
Is that the people that they normally call Uncle Tom back in the day? The ones who...
Right, you don't find out they sold you out until years later. We sit here honoring, just like somebody was like, they put Malcolm over Martin. I'm like, well, Martin got laws passed for us, but all I ever heard that Malcolm did was speak.
Same here,
so how is he over? We need action. If you're not bringing about action, you can talk all day long, like Al Sharpton, like Jesse Jackson. You can talk all day long, but if you're not bringing about some type of action, then you're just one of those paid agents that's out here distracting us.
Yep. You're right. And you know what? Somebody said in the comments, DC. He said this kind of reminds him of the movie Imitation of Life. Like, remember the white lady who was partially, she was mixed, and but see, even in that, even her, like, identifying mainly as white, I guess it comes down to skin tone and that storyline, but where she was trying to play off as white. This is like, it's still like totally different to me because this chick is not white. You're not mixed. You're not.
Right. This has been happening for years. There were a lot. J. Edgar Hoover was black from Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
J. Edgar Hoover, the first person, the head of the FBI, was a black man.
Mm-hmm.
And that passed as white. He had a white father and a black mother. That passed off as pure white.
Right.
All of them, and then hated. Guess what? Hated black people.
That's that self-hatred again.
That's that self-hatred.
But again, I still think it starts at a young age if you teach your children to love themselves. Like, love themselves. That's what's wrong with our children. They grow up and they get out into this world and they easily swayed by people who envy them and are jealous of them because they're not proud. Right, they're not proud of who they are.
Some of these girls, you tell them they're pretty and they open up their legs.
Yes, you're right. Yes, say that.
And it's all because I think somebody was talking, because I like to talk to real people, and I think I was having a conversation with somebody else, and we were being real about the stuff. We have to start talking about this stuff that we've been ashamed of that's been happening in our families, and we were talking about how a lot of our parents and stuff like that, they'd be like, you ain't nothing, and you ain't gonna never be nothing, that's because, and then a lot of times,
are you just gonna be like your daddy, or you just gonna be like,
Yeah, and then, just like the little girl, like a lot of women, just like I tell my grandmother, it's like, she complains about how her mom treated the one boy in her family like he was God, but she did the same thing with her son.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then, like I said, you know, you should raise your children equally and the same, because at the end of the day, you know, like a woman can't learn to depend on a man, because that's why a lot of them are in these toxic situations. You need to teach a woman that, you know, she needs to be able to do everything and anything out there to survive, just like a man. He's going to have to know how to cook and clean and all that. What if his wife goes sick and he has to take care of the children? So, you know, these role things and all of that, first of all, we too far behind for that. And number two, that limits us in terms of our skills in terms of surviving.
True. Yeah, true. Very true.
That's like they say
when the roles are going to be reversed.
The dad ain't there. Where's the real daddy? You know, it's the mom's fault. What about daddy? Where was daddy? Mm-hmm. I think it was Tasha. Shout out to Tasha K. I was watching her show, and the daddy was on there talking about that his daughter was molested by her mom's boyfriend. Wow. Okay, and everybody just like, oh, it's the mom. True. But then I said, okay, ask him, did he abuse the mother? Because if he abused the mother, it's just as much his fault. Then I said, okay, well, ask him, why wasn't he in his daughter's life to know that she was being abused?
Oh, you know what? I know who you're talking about. I've been following that. You talking about Larry, right? Is that who you talking about? Is that his name?
Well, I'm not sure. It was on Tasha K's show. I know it's another situation out there with.
There's so many different situations. That's why I was saying these YouTube streets. Oh my God! But there's been a lot of stories
need to be talked about, because at least 6 to 7 out of 10 of our children are molested. Most of us, I've been molested. You know, most of the people who be in these chats have been molested.
And that's why I say, but all the time on my channel, I'm part of that Me Too movement. I don't have no shame.
Mm-hmm.
Almost every single
black men out here, Me Too movement against men. And then you got the black men out here protecting other pedophiles. I had to tell somebody, I said, look, you know, I respect you. I think of you as an intelligent person, but you know, we don't know. You know, this has happened too many times where a child says they've been molested and the child gets blamed.
Or somebody don't believe them, the parent don't believe them, or they believe the man when the man say, no, I didn't. Right. They lying. Mm-hmm.
Right, and that man goes out and does that over and over again when it could have been stopped if you had listened to that child.
And that's why I'm so glad we have this. A lot of these men
protect the other men, and a lot of times it's because they too are themselves pedophiles. Now, I'm not saying that in all cases, but I told somebody, I said, now you don't want to be that one. You don't want to be that one.
Did you see the video I made the other day about the football player who molested and assaulted that little
from
girl?
The Falcons, right?
Yes. And did you see how the mother, his wife, walked in and saw him start butt naked, standing over that girl while she was under the covers, hiding? And she was like, well, it looks kind of weird. He ran off into the kitchen to cover up with a towel, but I didn't see them having sex, so I just went back to bed. Girl, I was like, ooh, let that have been my child. In
denial, and that child's sitting there suffering.
And she left that child in the living room.
That child's sitting there suffering. And he ain't doing that. Oh, she's lying. Or that old hot tail, fast tail girl. You know, if you stop wearing your clothes too tight, then, you know, you won't have this problem. All this stuff that's been going on, because we would not bring, and then look at what just happened. A lot of black people didn't vote the last presidential election, in which Trump didn't win the election. It was the electoral college vote. But, you know, I'm fighting against that as well. How many black people, a lot of people, it ain't going to help if you vote. You know, your votes don't count. That's
we got to change that mindset.
Now, instead of getting up and trying to do something about it, trying to hold our politicians accountable.
But you know what? When I was younger, around the age of like the voting age, you know, like 18, 19, stuff like that, there were people in my family who didn't vote. not necessarily in my house, but just in my family, and they was always pressing the issue. And that was back then where a lot of it was a lot of stuff going on. No different from now. But and people were always, I don't know, why should I vote? Why should I vote? So I have to admit, when I was 18, 19 and stuff, I was like, well, why should I vote? My cousin over here ain't voting. These are my older cousins and uncles and aunts telling us they don't vote. But then when I got a little older, once I started having kids, I was like, my whole mindset changed. Like, I have kids to think about now. So that's why every year, every 2 years, every, whether it's the state, the local, right. I do it.
Like they complain about what Obama could and could not do. Obama was under a majority Republican House, Senate, and Congress, and the president don't pass the laws. The president don't make the decisions. The House, the Congress, and
he can only do so much.
Congress and the Senate does.
He can only do so much, and that's where a lot of people be confused as well. Because they think the president is just God, and he can just...
We'll talk about all kinds of celebrities. We'll talk about everything, but do we be talking about laws and politics and the things that can save and help and affect us in a positive way? No. We do not talk about that on YouTube.
And that's why I have made a post...
Just like Kavanaugh, the Supreme Court justice that just got appointed and he admitted to rape. Trump been up on several rape charges, including right before he got in. I don't know what happened to that one, a 13-year-old girl.
Girl, I don't know, but I had made a post on my Facebook page. You need to look me up on Facebook. And we have a group, too. We also have a primetime TV group on Facebook. Okay. So make sure you request to join that. But I had made a post probably about 4 or 5 days ago on the 3rd, which is a Saturday, I believe, of November. I have a god sister, and she's really deep into politics. She has been like that for years. And a lot of the people she hang with and, socialize with are really deep in the project and, work directly with, candidates and, raising funds and, all that kind of stuff. So anyhow,
questions and knowing who can
and that's what I'm going to have them do. I'm going to have them come on my show on the 3rd, and it's like 3 ladies, including my god sister, and I'm gonna have people calling in because some people don't know. Like you see all these names on there, and you be like, "Dang, why should I vote for this?" A lot of people don't know how to even research to find out. Right, and some people just be like, "Well, he's a Democrat. Let me vote for that." I mean, some people just they don't know. They don't research. They don't know how to do the research. They don't understand the voting methods. They don't understand the different cabinets. They don't understand, all that stuff. So, all the laws,
basic law, basic politics, the things that they didn't teach us heavily in school. Because, a lot of the stuff that we learned in school was misleading. I didn't find that out until I started researching. I went through college and everything. That's why, we're not able to really just get out there and maintain and start businesses and stuff like that because we were not taught the right things in school. Exactly. People go to school for business. They go to school for everything. That's why they can't just jump out there and do it because we were not taught. It takes additional research, and you find that a lot of stuff you were taught to stay in a submissive type of position.
Right. You're absolutely right. But I'm gonna have to make sure I post that on my Facebook. I mean, not my Facebook, but my YouTube.
On your comments.
I'm gonna have to do that because I think my sister, I swear, every time it's time for voting, I'll hit her up, and that's like her love. I'll be like, "Hey sis, tell me about this person. What do they stand for? What do they represent?" Because I'll admit I'm not a big political person, and she'll run it all down for me. She loves to do that stuff. So I was like, I need to get you on my, and she was like, yes, please put us on there, and we can have like a call in where people can call and ask about different questions, different candidates.
Because politics and what we're going through is all one and the same. That's why we've been losing, because we do not know enough about politics and law. And that's what they have been doing. They have been playing us with politics and law. And then when you start start making it relate to everyday life, you'll have an addiction and an interest in it too, because, you know, it's just as much as knowing, like, a lot of people don't even know, like, what kind of, if they're in a commercial area or if they're in a residential only area. They don't know, you know, and they don't know what that means, and, you know,
they don't know what their district number is. I done heard people ask me before so many times, what's our district number? What?
Right.
We the biggest city in Omaha. You don't know what district you're in?
They don't even know they local politicians. They don't know who their city councilman or their alderman is. They can't tell you.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, we
gotta educate it. It's gonna start with education. It's gonna, you know, and us working together in small groups, big groups, whatever. It's eventually gonna spread, but we gotta stop saying we can't and we won't.
Right. You're right.
But I ain't gonna stay on here because I could talk forever, as you can see.
It's okay. I really enjoyed you. I enjoyed Darcy. Yeah, but I love it. I love when people call in and give their, you know, different point of views and stuff, because that's what it's all about. Us all learning from each other. So I appreciate you and Darcy calling in tonight, because a lot of people need to hear, you know, what's really going on in the world, and a lot of people live in a bubble. They live in a bubble, and that's why they don't vote. And that's exactly why they don't vote.
That little girl is in a bubble of denial.
Yes, she is.
It's easier for her to say she's white and to pretend like she's white, than to face the things that, you know, like we have to face on a daily basis.
Right, you're absolutely right. But the thing about it is, she don't know when she get out there in the real world. Then white people ain't gonna treat her like she white. Ain't nobody gonna treat her no different. It's like, since you black, not saying that people's gonna abuse her and mistreat her, but they ain't gonna treat you the way that you think you gonna be treated. You're not gonna be treated any better just because you think you white.
Some people have a mental illness. What she has is a part of a mental illness. See, we look at it like she's here with us in the present. She's not. She has little movies playing around in her head, and she's always living through these movies.
Right.
She's always living through these scenes and these scenarios.
And the fact that it's been going on since she was 5 years old. Yep.
She's gonna need some deep psychological therapy to help bring her out of you know, and a lot
out of that sunken place.
Yeah, it's called negative coping skills, and she has adapted, and a lot of us do. You can't blame her. A lot of us adapt to negative coping skills. Anger, you know, always, you know, like shooting for the negative instead of, you know, looking at if the glass is half empty or half full. That's a negative, you know, looking at it like it's always half empty is a negative coping skill.
If life give you lemons, make lemonade. You know?
Right. You know, we gotta, you know, there's a lot of things that we could do, and we just need to start off small, but we gotta do it, and we gotta, you know, and it's gonna, you know, it's gonna be the women. It's gonna be the black women.
We have to be more
black women are way more powerful than they even can imagine. Everybody who is black had to come through a black woman, and so we have the power. You know, the whole world used to be a matriarch where women were the heads of everything. And then think about it, it makes sense, because who knows better, and who's gonna be more balanced and fair in decisions than a woman? Because a woman has a boy as a child, and she has a girl as a child. So your women are a lot more balanced a lot of times in a lot of different things. And if you look up the characteristic of feminine energy and the characteristics of masculine energy, feminine energy is nurturing. Feminine energy is creativity. And we've been suppressed. And we got to get out of this suppression. And, you know, and then we got to stop hating on each other. That's why I was like, I really called in. Because we so quick to hate. Oh, it's her fault. Oh, look at her. Ah, she thinks she's pretty. Excuse me. Fighting over a man. If that man wanted, that man sitting back laughing, and he gonna dump both of y'all and go on and do
I ain't never fighting over no. Honey, you can have him, and 9 times out of 10, you gonna be in that same position again with the next chick, because.
I'm more prettier, trying to be prettier than the next one. Instead of looking at what's on the inside, what is it? Who are you? What are you born? What are you here for? You're not gonna always have that beauty. You know, you're gonna get old and wrinkly. So what you gonna have to depend on them.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because I only have sons, I don't have no daughters. But still, a lot of women be like, I wouldn't accept this, that, and the third from a man because I'm raising a daughter and I don't want her. But in my case, with women who only have boys, it's the same thing. I don't want to be accepting all this, that, and the third from this man, because my son gonna get out there and think he can do the same thing to women. Learn behavior.
Right. Those guys that are in gangs, they were approached and recruited by an older man.
Mm-hmm.
Those boys that that sell drugs, a lot of times they were recruited by in high school and stuff by an older boy or older man.
Right.
That's where a lot of that stuff is learned, and we have to be honest about that.
Yep, you're so right. You're so right. I just wish the best.
But we don't talk about that. It's always the mama fault. Oh, he's selling drugs. Oh, it's the mama fault. And then a lot of times the men are teaching the boys or the other men not to respect the women.
The women, exactly. And you can have two different. I use this all the time. Like I've seen it so many times before on social media, Facebook, whatever. Guys always feeling like a woman cannot raise a boy to be a man or teach a boy how to be a man. We might not can teach them everything about being a man, but I know so many women, including myself. I have a 21-year-old. He's in college. He graduates next year. I have a 17-year-old. He's in high school. He graduates next year.
And that's what
they are great young men, and I've done it mainly by myself. I mean, I get a little help here and there from their dads. They see their dads, when they can. One of them lives out of town, but he comes into town often, for his games, school activities. He lives out of town. But, what I'm saying? But mainly, I'm the focus point of the family, And I feel it can be done. A lot of women
they expect us to be super women, and not have any flaw or error at all.
Right.
And then it's just like, women have successfully raised black men, and that's a lie. For the longest time, there are plenty of single, of men out there that are doing well that came from single mama homes.
A lot of us doctors, actors, ball players, movie stars. I mean, yeah.
Right. Most of them football players came from single parents. So they can stop with that. That's just another excuse. They always and we fall right for them.
And who they credit? They credit their mama. When they get rich, they credit their mama. Their mama the one they putting up in mansions,
right?
Cars, and making her retire and stuff. Yeah.
They go marry they dump they high school black girlfriend and go marry a white one. And then take it out of our community.
I was choked on my drink. But it's true. I heard somebody say that the other day.
Truth is the only way that we're going to heal. Truth is the only way that these issues are going to be dealt with. So we have to, we have to stop being so afraid to bring up issues and to talk about things.
Right. That's true. But what I tell my son all the time is, because of the society we live in today, 2018, even if you're a black woman and want your son to date a black woman, even if you're a white woman and want your son to date a white girl, I mean, it's just the way it is nowadays for people to mix. And I just tell my son, I don't care who you date, as long as she respects you, as long as she respects me, as long as she respects herself, and she's not no pushover. You can't walk all over her. One of those type of women, I don't care what race you are.
And she exactly. Our race as well, because a lot of them, they like, oh yeah, they'll love him.
You have to respect the whole thing. Like when you marry into a family, it's a package deal, honey. And we haven't had no problems before. My sons have dated black, white, Mexican, Guatemalan. It happens, and I don't care. It's like, as long as they respect me, they respect you, they respect us, they respect themselves. Don't bring me home some chick that, she's up here running around in circles to please you, one of those type of women. No, I want you to be with a strong woman with her own mind, her own, So that makes me happy.
Once we start healing, we'll we're gonna have to heal before we can build.
Yeah, that's true, and that's true. And I mean, if I would have never seen this Dr. Phil show or seen the viral videos, I would have never believed what I witnessed on Dr. Phil.
You go from any YouTube channel, you're gonna see women getting into it. You're like, why are these women getting into it?
All the time.
Why are they like vicious pit bulls? That's a part of self-hatred.
And that's why I'm trying to keep my channel positive. I mean, I'm not one of those channels out there that drag people or, I report what's out there and I do TV show reviews and that's about it. I'm not trying to.
It's best to make if you have something that might be a little controversial, put it in a question format.
Right.
Like,
what do you think about this? Or
do black people really suffer from self-hatred?
Right.
Put it in a question format, and that allows always allow both sides and both opinions to express themselves as long as it's in a respectful manner.
That's a lot of stuff that we're missing on YouTube. It's like a lack of respect. I'll be appalled. I'm telling you, I'll be appalled, like gagging, like what is going on? The disrespect,
we don't know how to communicate.
I don't.
And if you don't love yourself, you can't love nobody else.
That's true.
But like I said, I ain't gonna because we'll be talking for another 3 hours.
And I don't know about you, but I gotta be at work in the morning. No, I gotta be at work at 7.
Talking to you, I'll call in again.
Thank you.
And peace and family reunions to the chat.
Girl, yes. And make sure you find me on Facebook. And our link is in the chat for our Facebook group.
Okay.
Yep. Make sure you request to join and I'll add you.
Okay.
All right, hon. All right. Good night. Okay, I'm gonna turn the phone lines off. I don't think anybody else was holding on hold. I kept checking. I didn't see anybody else holding. When nobody's on hold, we just will talk about one thing, and then it gravitates to another area. But I absolutely think that everything we talked about tonight was important in some type of way. You guys, thank you for watching tonight. Thank you for participating. Everybody in the chat, thank you for participating in the chat. Let me know you out there and, joining in on the discussion. And no problem. And you said you like to be called QI, right? I gotta remember that, QI. And thank you. Make sure you click that link to join our group too, as well. Anybody in the group, anybody watching, anybody in the chat, anybody watching, we have a Facebook group called Tanya's Primetime TV /media news. It's on Facebook. Just go over to Facebook, type it in, click request to join, and I'll add you to the group. And we basically, just like here, discuss TV shows, reality shows, trending news. You can post stuff in the group that you want me to talk about, on the show, things like that. But also, before you get off the video tonight, I'm about to end it in a minute. Make sure if you didn't like the video on the way in, please like the video on the way out. And also, if you're just strolling through, please subscribe to our group and show us some love and make sure you share. Please share the video on your favorite social media, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or whatever. Please make sure you share it as well so other people can enjoy the channel just like you enjoy the channel. And until we meet again, in the meantime and in between time, Primetime Squad, make sure you stay blessed, be safe, stay blessed, and have a good night.